Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Design in the Dark. My name is Andrew Hochradel. I have tiny fingers for hands, and our guest today is our friend Doc Reed. Oh, here we go, Doc Reed. Hey, Doc.
Hey,
Doc, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about you? Let them know who you are and what you do.
hey, my name's Doc Reed, and I'm a designer illustrator. Do some freelance illustration, graphic design from time to time, and yeah, excited to see what we got cooking today.
Yeah, so if you have never seen Doc's work, it is a really, really great amalgamation of work. Ooh, amalgamation this early in the stream. That feels right. So Doc does some incredible stuff. You can check out his website at iamredicus.com. If you want to check out his shop, iamredicus.com/shop. He's got some cool stuff. I actually have, I thought I had it right next to me. I have a bunch of your sketchbooks. I do. There we go. Look at this on hand. This is professional hosting right here, y'all. I've got a couple of Doc's little notebooks right here, so you can get some of those. Check out his shop as well as the rest of his work. He does really, really incredible stuff. And Doc, tell us a little bit about. You have something coming up this week, I believe on Friday. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I'm going to be part of the design revival here Friday and Saturday. I will be talking Friday at 3 o'clock about art direction and storytelling. So, yeah,
Awesome. And also, where can people find you on the Insta?
I am Redicus at Instagram and Twitter. So,
That's right. That's where Doc is. And I have one more thing to talk about, and then we'll talk about what this show is. Why are you here? What are you watching? We'll get there. So, the Adobe Creative Residency Fund is a really, really great opportunity for all of you to get involved. I just finished up my project with the Illustrator team, which was really fun. Got to work on some fun beta stuff. So, you can apply for the Adobe Creative Residency Fund for a project of funding from 500 to 5,000, or apply for a commission. And Ahmad will drop that link into chat for us. Go ahead and apply for that. It's a great experience, a great team, and a great way for you to get involved. All right, Doc Reed, here we are. We are
yeah.
back. Are you ready for the challenge?
As ready as I'll ever be, I guess. So let's do this.
All right. So, what this show is for all of you that are just joining us is this is Design in the Dark. The premise of this show is that we will have a creative brief. Now, I will see the creative brief, and chat, you will see the creative brief as well. But the twist is Doc will never know what the creative brief is. I will be art directing him into creating a product, and chat, you can help along as well. And we'll be art directing him into creating a project, but at no point can I see what Doc is making. So, chat, I am reliant on you to tell me if something's wrong, if something looks weird, if it looks a little bit wonky. It's up to you to tell me. And if you see something that I am saying wrong, then you definitely want to clue in Doc, and I'll pass that word along to him. So, chat, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have Doc take off his headphones, remove himself from the aura for just a second. I'll signal you back in, Doc.
I can't see you, so
Oh, I'm going to talk, though.
okay.
Oh, that's true. Then give me like 45 seconds.
Okay, be
All
right
right, cool.
back.
All right, here we go. All right, now that he's gone, chat. Ooh, ASMR moment. All right, now that he's gone, chat, I need your help. I need your help to decide on what we are doing today. So here is our brief. I'm going to go ahead and look over here so I read it well. Our client is a local grocer looking to step up their marketing. They're a family-owned company who has just had a new generation take over. They want some wild stuff, and they are willing to take a chance and push experimental styles with motion and energy everywhere. So, chat, this is where I need your help. You are going to pick what we're doing today. So, either one, grocery bags, two, a window mural, or three, coffee cups. So, chat, let me know any one of those, one, two, or three. Which is your pick that you would like to have? All right, I'm going to signal Doc back in. This is my signal back in.
There's your pretty face.
There we go. Thank you. So no, Cornell, Doc cannot see the chat. So if you have advice, pass it along, and I'll apply it to what he's working on. All right.
Yes.
So we have some numbers coming in. So Doc, you're gonna hear me saying some numbers right now, and that's because chat is picking what we are making. So we have
Okay.
some threes, some twos. I'm surprised nobody's going for one. I thought one was a pretty good option. I was excited about that. All right. So we got another three. We'll give it four more votes and see what wins out.
All
Let's see
right.
here. Doc, do you have any things that you would be like, man, it would be fun to make this today?
Uh, I mean, for whatever reason, a diaper just popped into my head.
Great. Sounds good. All right, cool. So we are going with option number 3. Thank you so much, chat. And Doc, what we're going to do is we're just going to make an artboard that is a 1920 by 1080. We'll be putting probably a couple things on here. So space it out. So it's 1920 by 1080, and we'll be doing 3 different things on this artboard. And while we do that,
3 different things on our board.
I'm going to update our brief. So everyone, here is Doc's screen. You also will be able to see my screen as I sketch along on the side of Doc. I cannot see his screen. I'm just looking at my monitor to make sure everything is working correctly. But as I fix this up, I'm going to push this button right here, and it's going to update that banner above us. So if at any point you're a little bit confused about what's going on, check out that banner above us, and it will tell you exactly what is happening in the show. All right. Here we go. Doc, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to grab my iPad and put it over here so that we can sketch alongside each other. What fun.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we are going to make... You know what? I think that I've actually art directed you wrong already. Let's go ahead and do a 1920 by 1080, but do it vertical. So
Okay.
So it's probably 1080 by 1920.
Oh, what is that? Okay.
And from there, what we're going to do is we're just going to do one piece today. We were going to do some more pieces, but today we're just going to do one piece. And yes, Doc is working, I believe, Doc, you're working in multiple programs today, right? We've talked about having split screen going back and forth a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about what your process is going to be?
Mostly, I just wanted to have an application for whatever you threw at me. So
Great.
if we're going to be building any quick shapes, I wanted to do that here in Illustrator, which will be on the left of my screen. And then if we're going to be doing drawing, texturing, any type of sketching, I'll probably do that here in Photoshop on my right. So
all right, could you go ahead and open Premiere Pro? I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. All right, cool. So let's hop in here and start working. So what we're going to do first of all, Doc, is we are going to do a couple simple shapes, right? We like to start from the background and build our way up, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to set the scene a little bit. In the background, we want to do a horizon line, but it's really going to go all the way across. So think of like the typical stock image that you have that is like just a counter or a shelf, right? So we're going to do maybe some like natural wood in the background on like maybe like a butcher block kind of thing. So that doesn't have to be too detailed, but just to get you started, that's where we're going to start. And chat, while we start on that, what I want you to do is give us a color scheme. Chat, you're going to be able to pick the colors that we are using today. So drop that color scheme into chat. We will pick one of those, and it will be something that we can incorporate to what we are working on today. So again, chat, I'm going to push the button, and you'll be able to see my screen. Oh, we'll be able to see probably... 3 screens? Because we will see Doc's 2 screens as well as my 1 screen. So we'll see a whole bunch of screens at the top. Mine is always on the far right, and it's just the rough sketch of what we're doing. Doc is a much better illustrator than I am. But at the end, we'll be able to see how well we visually communicated to come to a final product, which is going to be really fun.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yes, Doc, feel free to ask questions.
You said it was butcher block, so imagining a horizontal plane with sort of the wood grain that you're talking about coming towards the camera or the viewpoint or the eyes. Is that what you were thinking as well? Or?
Yes, yep. So it doesn't have to be super detailed, but something that shows that it is a counter, that it has some texture to it. And Camilla, at any point, any suggestions you have, any direction you have, you can go ahead and drop that in. It looks like a ton of people just joined us. No idea where you came from, but hello, welcome to the show. This is a show where we have a creative brief, which is right here if you want to read over that. It also is floating at the top of the screen. Doc does not know the creative brief, and I cannot see his screen. So we are working on our skills of visual communication to create a final piece. So welcome everyone that just came in. Somehow 700 of you just popped up. So hey, what's up? All right. I love this pastel colors. Ooh, I actually like... Okay, Joe, great. Okay, so Doc, we are going to, if you want to take note of a color scheme, we'll add it kind of at the end. We're going to do green, coral, and cod gray.
Cod gray. That's a new one for
Yeah,
me.
like a fish scale. So a green,
Okay.
and I'm guessing the green we want to be almost like a seaweed green, like a darker kind of seaweed green.
Okay.
And then we want to have, what do we say? Green. We said coral, so like a nice little pink. Is coral pink? Let's do pink. All right, so it's going to be green, like
So
pink, maybe like a salmony kind of pink.
okay.
And then that nice kind of fish scale gray. So you can kind of see those on my screen, and we will work on those. Thank you, chat, for your suggestions. All right, Doc, are you ready to move on to the actual product that we'll be creating?
Sure. I'm still playing with colors, but I'll listen along.
Cool.
Try to get
All right.
some.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit technical with some simple shapes. And we're going to use these simple shapes to build what the product is, right? So we may not just be using these simple shapes. We're going to use them to build the basis of what the product is. Um, at the bottom, as if it is sitting on the kind of perspective that you've drawn, we want to do an oval. So we want to do an oval that is, I don't know, maybe a third of what the screen is. So if your screen is into columns, just make that
Okay.
oval the width of that column, the middle column.
All right. Right on.
All right. So from there, we are going to draw a. It's not a trapezoid. We're gonna draw. We're gonna draw basically a rectangle to where it flares out at the top. So rectangle that flares out at the top, and that's going from edge to edge on that oval.
And you want the oval taking up the entire sort of bottom third?
No, just sorry, the middle column. So if you break it into three columns,
Ah,
the middle
gotcha.
column would be the width of that oval.
Right. My bad. I had gone rows instead of columns.
And chat, that is a great opportunity for if something is going wrong and you see Doc make kind of some kind of issue like that, let me know. It is up to you to make a lot of these decisions and help with us. All right, Doc, next up, we are going to do another oval, and this oval will be at the top, and this oval will be connecting kind of the top of this trapezoid shape that we've created.
Okay. And tell me again how the triangle is coming off that bottom oval.
Almost like it is flaring up. So it's like a rectangle that flares out at the top. Upside down bell bottom.
Gotcha. Now you're
Yes.
speaking my language.
There we go. That's it. That's it. The upside down bell bottom is what he got. Camilla just said the words "oh no," so I'm concerned. Camilla, please let me know what is "oh no," and we can work on fixing that. All right, Doc, do you have the rectangle that's flared out?
Working on it.
All right, cool. And from there, on top of that, we're gonna do a another circle. And Camilla says yes, Doc, like a tube. Yes, more like a tube.
Okay.
So I don't know where you're going. The oval is vertical, not horizontal. Okay, Doc, we're gonna have. Okay, Doc, let's have a little talk here. So I'm doing a bad job. We want to do a horizontal oval at the bottom that is in the center column. From there, we want it to flare up and then do another oval at the top. And yes, much like a tube. So it's like a flared tube.
Okay.
Okay, is that good?
We'll
And
see in a minute.
all right, Camilla says the top ellipse is bigger than the bottom one. Yes, so we want it to flare up as if it's like a growing kind of tube.
All right.
Yes, and yes, art direction very much is a lot of onomatopoeias. It's a lot of sh and a lot of whoops. So we want that kind of growing on the way up. And then on the inside, oh, that's great art direction. Santaji says it is less like or Zach Wilkinson, sorry, it's less like a tube and more like an upside down volcano. Yes, that is 100% what it is. So upside down volcano, not as wide, but we want it kind of in that shape.
Okay.
All right, so continuing on the top oval, let's go ahead and fill that in so that it looks like it has some dimension, so that it looks like it is hollow on the inside. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. And for reference, I am working in Adobe Fresco. Doc, what are you working in?
Right now, I hopped over to Illustrator because I was building shapes,
Cool, love that.
and Photoshop is a little slower.
Love that. Love that. In chat, let me know. Is he on the right? Is he on the right path? Has he made the thing that we're making? At least the shape of it. Let me know. All right. Are you feeling good, Doc?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Um,
Upside down volcano. It's like a weird upside down cake at this point.
yeah. Yeah. Yep. And it's hollow on the inside, so that it's like open on the inside.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to start working on the outside of that. So that is the shape that we're working on. That will be sitting on that kind of counter that we've created.
Okay.
We are going to be
Right
working
now, is
on
this
that.
the green or the coral or the fish?
It could be, let's start with white and then we're going to add stuff onto it. So that will be our
Okay. So what?
canvas, really.
Okay.
Yep. And Cornell says he's doing pretty good so far. Carolyn says it's okay. I love that.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Thanks, chat. Hey, be honest with us. We want to have the best product here. All right, so we have that there. It's sitting on the counter. Now let's start working on it. Cool. So let's go ahead and start working. What we want this to look like, just overall. So don't start drawing anything yet. Let's just imagine. Close our eyes, and I want to get the emotion built. So we want it to be very organic feeling. We want it to be very naturey. Maybe we'll work with some kind of vines and stuff. And so think, okay, have you seen the Batman and Robin with Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy?
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Nipple suit.
imagine like that Poison Ivy. How like it was like foliage and like green, but it also was like a little edgy and like kind of had some like zazz to it. That's what we want
All
to go
right.
for. So just put your mindset in that it's like a little bit punk rock. It's a little bit like crazy and zany, but
All right.
not like totally comical and funny. So we want to, yes, and Cornell trash can shape. Great idea. Cool. So we want that cup to take up most of the artboard. Dang it, I said it. Oh no, I feel like I should get in trouble. Oh no, I did it. I did the one thing we shouldn't. All right, well, it's a cup, Doc. Go ahead and make that super large, and we're just gonna move on and keep working on that. All right, cool. So we're gonna start working with some shapes in the center. Let's just leave a circle that's open. So leave a nice little circle that is open.
Okay.
I'm sorry, chat. I have failed you. 100%, I have failed you. All right, cool. So now let's start adding some details here. And what we want to do is we are going to use those colors, but think of it as if we are making a scene. So we want it to kind of stack up and think of maybe soil at the bottom. Right, so we want it to be kind of soil at the bottom using probably that gray color. So we're going to start working with that and create almost like a little wave, like a soil wave of some wavy soil
Okay.
there at the bottom, and kind of just wave that out and fill it in with that gray. Now, while you're doing that, you can add some of that signature dock kind of shading energy. We do want it to look like a little misprinted, like it's got little pieces here and there. Maybe it's got some texture on it. And yes, I do have the shame of it on me. And chat, feel free to come up with a punishment, chat. I will take it. Let me know what the punishment is, and I will take it and apply it to what we're doing today. I deserve it. So, Doc, yes, we're going to create that soil at the bottom. Do you have questions about kind of the direction of that?
Still with the soil being on top of the wooden butcher uh, countertop.
This is within the upside down volcano shape.
The soil is within the
Yeah,
upside
so
down
we'll be
volcano.
painting
Gotcha.
a scene within that container. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Ooh, and Zach Wilkinson, that's a really great punishment that I have to go blonde again. I'll do it. I'll do it. I will 100% do it. Tomorrow for Design in the Dark, you got it. I will be blonde for Design in the Dark. You have won that. I deserve the punishment. All right. So Doc, go ahead and we'll do kind of that at the bottom there. We're going to add some more stuff to the butcher block, but let's focus on doing the volcano shape first.
All right.
So we're going to do kind of at the bottom there, and then moving up from there, that's where we're going to have kind of that crazy growth. We're going to have,
the vines that we were talking about.
yes, yeah, vines, totally.
Okay. Right on.
And yes, Santaji says the cat's out of the bag. You might as well just say cup now. I agree. Um, so this we want to be very, again, kind of swooshy and organic feeling. And chat, for your reference, if you want to look up a design movement called Rococo, Roccocco, Rococo, yeah, Rococo. It was known by these very S curves and C curves, and then it was very like floral. So that's what we're working with today. We're going to kind of create those elements that feel floral, organic, have a lot of movement to them. Doc, we can even do some little leaves on there if we want to have some leaves.
And we're keeping the circle that's in the middle of the cup
Open.
for, I'm assuming that's going to hold something else. So all of these, the dirt and the vines and things like that, are going to be sort of
Yeah, we're
wrapping
going to put like a
around.
logo or something in there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, so let's put those in there. We want them almost like climbing up. So lots of upward movement in that, a lot of motion energy. And I've actually already broken the cardinal rule of this show that I've realized is that we have to start on the background and build our way up. So what we like to do, I'm sorry, Doc, is we are going to, at the top, create a sun. So we're going to add another color here. It's going to be like a yellow. And at the top
Okay.
here, from the oval, we'll kind of just make a sun. It can be a pretty small sun, but it'll be at the top. And then we're going to add like the energy lines coming out of that. So think of, Doc did this piece that I think it was like the light like shining and someone getting like blinded. That it was kind of
Yeah.
like that crazy energy. We want some of that coming out of the sun. So like bright rays, kind of energy kind of hitting, so that it looks like the sun is kind of sending out energy.
Okay. Sort
And
of,
chat saying that,
in my mind, I'm thinking the sort of like a circus tent where you got the sun and then the rays sort of shooting out from there.
yes, they could be less structured than that and more like organic and kind of like shattered. But that
Okay.
idea, yes. And Carol says the center circle is very big, much bigger than mine. So you can shrink that circle down
Okay.
a bit. And I'm just going to
Good
go
to
ahead
know.
and color in mine. And while we do that, I'm going to go over to your screen. Can
We're talking
you,
like 50% smaller
um,
or
sure. It should be like kind of small. Like if there was a small, a medium, and a large, this would be the medium.
okay.
Yes. That
Hopefully that will update.
all
There it
right. And
goes.
let's pull that through. And chat, let me know if there are any tech issues or sound issues or anything, and I can fix those as we go. And maybe just maybe change the base color to a warmer color. I mean, we can try it.
Okay.
Let's give it a shot. All right. How are we doing, Doc? Let's just check in real quick. This show's been a little bit crazy. This one gets crazy. How are you feeling? Where are we going? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Let me know. Let's communicate here. Let's do some
Okay.
collaboration. What do you need help with? What are you trying to figure out? And chat, feel free to answer his questions and help me along as well.
I am sort of building up the background so we've got some depth.
Okay.
Um, making it slightly warmer
Okay.
and still thinking trying to keeping it within that wood background.
Okay.
Um, is that where
What's happening with the wood background?
at this point
Where
it's
is
just a
that?
placeholder at the bottom. It's
Okay. Cool.
behind the cup. The cup is sitting on it.
Cool. Perfect. That's what we want. Yep. So it's just like a counter that's sitting on.
Yep.
And then what's happening on the actual cup?
Right now there is a medium-sized circle just above middle and a trying to get some placeholder dirt, soil, and then vines and leaves coming up and a sun in the upper right-hand corner.
Cool, that works for me. Yep, that works for me. We could have the sun centered up there, but I'm okay with it being in the right-hand corner. That's kind of up to you. Um,
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so let's keep moving on those. I know that your style does a lot of detail. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to leave you full screen as you kind of work with that. It sounds like you have the idea, the concept of where we're going. So I'm going to leave Doc full screen and show you a little bit about how he works the process. Will we be able to get into some texturing, Doc?
I hope so. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So we'll give that a shot as we go. And I'm going to keep Doc's screen up there. If you have questions as we go, Doc, let me know. And chat, what I want from you is what do we want to have on the counter next to this cup, which I've given away? What do we want to have on that counter? Doc can kind of tuck it away in his brain and we can come back to it. You get to pick, chat. Let me know. It doesn't have to be something that is cup related. It can be something goofy and zany and weird to have on a counter. Why not? We'll make Doc do it. Sorry, Doc.
Oh, you're good.
And Doc, I have some questions for you as we work through this.
Okay.
It seems that you have a very signature style. So whenever I look at your work, it feels like it's super signature. Like I know that it's yours. Is that something that you've just developed over the years, or is that something that you feel like has come natural to you? How do you kind of get started with having such a signature style?
Trial and error, and just, I was gonna say, I think the best way that it was ever described, or the best way I heard it was described, is when you're in a sort of pinch, what's your sort of go-to get it done type of a look, is sort of where you can start to pull from the seedling elements of what your style could be, type of a thing. So but yeah, I definitely like noodling far more than I think maybe most people.
Yep, I agree. And looking at your work, so I have it up on my screen. Also for reference, oh boy, for reference, the thing that will be next to our cup is going to be a corgi. It's gonna be a small corgi. It's gonna be like a little miniature corgi. And it's funny because as I show on your website, Doc has done some illustrations of dogs. He's got a great illustration of this dog called Tank. So we're taking you back, Doc. We're gonna do a tiny little corgi. Maybe it's a keychain that sits next to it just for scale. Um,
I was gonna say, I was in my mind, I was transported back to the little doodad you'd put on your car antenna back when cars had antennas.
Yes, one of those. That's what we're doing. Yes, that's 100% what we're doing. And so, Doc, we actually, looking at your website, I forgot about this. Doc and I got to work on a project that was and he did an illustration of me on Adobe Live for another session. I
Yes,
believe that you can check that out, one, on his website, and two, you can watch the actual process of him creating it. And this is what I would say is your signature style, Doc. You have this texture, you have like this hatching, this cross hatching. That's what I'd love to see incorporated into this piece a little bit once we get there.
okay.
Is that something that you draw from other inspirations, or is it something that you've kind of just like felt out?
That pretty much started with my love of linoleum cut and wood cuts, and the idea of starting with a black canvas and then you revealing and painting the light essentially.
Yep, that's rad. I love the idea. Have you ever tried to do actual block cuts?
Yes, I love it.
Yes, I
Absolutely
have
love it.
chat for let's see which there it is. So on this finger, let's see if we can focus here. On that middle finger right there, you can see that there's another little ridge above my knuckle. That is from
Oh
doing
no, I know.
that is from doing a woodcut. I was cutting some linoleum and I slipped and just about took my finger off. So be careful if you're going to do any of that kind of linoleum cutting, but it is really, really fun to do and then print things and to be able to like do it in your home. And yes, Doc has been on Adobe Live before. You can definitely go watch that episode of him creating a portrait for the Hawk 2020 campaign on the YouTube or on his website. Which, Doc, I don't know if I've talked about this yet. It like kind of worked. Um, I,
I was
I,
wondering.
yeah, so I am not hosting Adobe Max this year, but I will be speaking at Adobe Max this year. So that is very
Right on.
exciting. I think that that's the hot take exclusive coming in here. But yeah, I'll be there. I'll be speaking, doing a couple panels, doing a couple sessions. So Doc, how we doing?
Yeah.
on our illustration?
Uh, Doing all right. Right now, I'm grabbing a bit of a wood plank just to put that in. I definitely like working with actual textures. And so I thought instead of me trying to rough in, I was going to see if I can grab some wood real quick.
Nice. So for those of you asking, I am working in Adobe Fresco, and Doc is working back and forth between Photoshop and Illustrator, right, Doc?
Yes.
Cool. So he's working on those. And J. Mark Bowden is in the house. He says, I'm super stoked to see this combo stream today, especially since Doc's in proportion and head isn't squished. Yes, I agree. Um, yes, and we are all over the place with our programs today. All right, Doc is
Yes.
bringing in some textures, I believe, to start kind of working and meandering with that. Chat, while he does that, I'm going to go ahead and pull back up my screen and kind of start working on some of the other little elements that we might want to see in here. I know that we talked about doing a corgi, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little corgi. You know what, Doc? Can we do this?
Hmm.
Can we have the corgi like in the cup? Like we have him with his little paws just like hanging over the front
Coming
of,
out of the cup.
yeah,
Okay.
like he's like taking a little bath. Like he's
Yeah,
just
we
a
can do
little,
that.
he's like a bath bomb, but he's a bath boy. He's like a,
Okay.
a sweet little bath boy. Oh, little corgi. Of course, you got to have those big signature ears. This is not looking good. And then that sweet little corgi nose, and I feel like they always have that little smile going. So yeah, we'll have him sitting in there. That'll be really fun. And Zach, oh Doc, you were naming your layers. This is a topic of conversation.
Oh, yeah, I am actually.
I almost never name my layers, like 0% of the time, unless I'm passing it off to a client that's going to be working with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that Zach that said that?
Yes, it was Zach. Yes, a foam
Yeah.
corgi. Yes, it is a foam corgi. And Doc, oh my goodness, this is such great art direction. Maybe if we have him in there, we put like a little dollop of foam on his head. That he's just got like a cute little dollop of foam. I like that it went from like punk rock to being like super like cute.
Yeah, I
But
was gonna say when we threw in corgi, I'm like, so is this like a
I'm o-
mean
I-
corgi? I've never
I'm
met a
okay with
mean
it.
corgi.
Okay, let's do a corgi, but he's gonna have like maybe like kiss makeup on. Like he's gonna
All right.
he's gonna have like a whole thing going on. Yeah. And Doc, how do you do? You said you're working on texturing. How do you do your texturing?
Well, right now, what I did is I opened up just a stock image of some flooring that I had picked up from who knows where on the internet. But
Yep.
basically, I'm bringing it in here to Photoshop. I've adjusted the layers to get a contrast that I wanted, put an adjustment layer on it to make it black and white. And I just converted it to a raster TIFF and half toned it. So now I'm gonna, whoops, bring it here into the Photoshop document. And where did it go?
That seems like quite the process. Is that something you just kind of have figured out over the years and you just use it now for everything?
Sort of. I would be lying if I said I figured it out. I was talking with a couple of screen printers, and Kyle Latender was kind enough to give me the inside scoop of how to go about doing this. Basically, the reason that I did that was so that when I bring textures into Illustrator, I can essentially colorize them without
Oh,
having.
interesting. Because it's a TIFF, and TIFFs you're able to change the color of.
Yep, 100%.
That's very
So
interesting. All right, so how are we looking? We've got about 10 minutes left. I know that that's literally the worst thing to tell you, but we've got about 10 minutes left before we need to start doing our wrap up recap. What do you have left to
wow.
do? And maybe I can help prioritize and we can figure out what we can get in.
I need to draw the corgi.
Okay, so we're gonna draw the little corgi, little
What is
foam corgi.
going in the white circle here in the middle of this?
Oh, you know what? Let's put the corgi in there. That's a better idea.
Okay,
Let's put the
all
corgi
right.
in there, so he will be like the logo. Is we will put the corgi into that circle. I'm gonna go ahead and undo mine as well and put him in that little circle, and we can maybe have his paws hanging out of the circle and his ears hanging out of the circle. So it's almost like a Porky Pig moment where he's kind of like doing the like, that's all, folks, but he is kind of hanging out and over.
Out and over.
Little corgi. Sweet little corgs. A little corgi boy.
Yeah, trying
All
to
right.
make sure I'm not drawing a weasel.
You could draw a weasel. You could totally draw a weasel. Why not? Weasels are awesome.
Weasel. Weasel time.
Yes. The Duke of Whistleson. All right. So from there, I think that we're going to go into just button ups. So don't think we're going to add in any more elements. Chat, let me know what things Doc needs to button up. And Doc, what do you know that you need to button up to kind of get to a more final place?
I need to better understand the relationship of the vines and dirt and what it's got to do with the dog that's in the middle of this logo cup shape.
Cool. Yes. So on Design in the Dark, sometimes the concepts don't really make sense, but they just turn into an application. So that's kind of what is happening here. Chat picked the corgi, and boy, is it on there. So it doesn't really have much to do with what we're doing. The kind of context, that scene has more to do with what we're creating here.
Okay.
And with that, I would say just start buttoning that up. It really should be a scene that it feels like, farmland, happy, think like opening of Teletubbies, but then also with that kind of like texture grit that you have on a lot of your pieces.
Okay.
And yes, Camilla's saying we need to button up some of the more random elements.
Yeah, now it's all random.
Okay, cool. Cool. Well, we got 8 minutes or so to button up.
All right.
And so this is the fun part. So Doc, this is my question to you as the art director and as your friend. We have 8 minutes to go, right? It sounds like it's kind of rough right now. You're having to prioritize in your brain. What am I going to do? How am I going to pull this off in the next 8 minutes? What's happening in your brain right now?
Fireworks.
It's exploding and on fire. How are you trying to like prioritize? Like, okay, what do I need to get done in the next 8 minutes? What does that look like for you?
Yeah. Not really sure at this point.
It's just happening. Yes. Do you go full on into just like letting your mind take over and hitting elements as they go? Or do you think like, oh, this will be easy to do, so I'm going to knock out the easy things first?
Yeah, that's pretty much where it goes. It's kind of like, okay. Yeah, the color palettes are right now hurting my brain.
Okay.
And I probably have bastardized the coral and whatnot that we were originally going for. I've got the cup green right now.
All right. Oh, Tiffany says it's super cute. So we're somewhere. And Santaji is saying, yes, it's rough right now. I actually like that. Great job. Rough. So yeah, Doc, I'd say just keep going. Don't listen to us. I'll probably ask you some more questions as we go, and try to just button up as much as you can, and then we will do the big reveal.
Okay.
Zach, yes. And chat, if you have any direction for Doc of things you think would be pertinent to pay attention to, little elements here and there that we could change or shift, let him know. Let him know and let me know in chat. And while we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about something that is coming up early next week. So we have another episode of Design in the Dark coming up next week. It's going to be super fun. We have our friend Roberta Hall coming on. She goes by Happy Impulse. And next week, we will be doing editorial illustration. And chat, you'll be writing the story that we will be doing the illustration for. So come back and you will be writing a new story that we will then make editorial illustrations to pair alongside. Also, next Monday, I am starting a new season of Daily Creative Challenges. I'll be here for the next 2 weeks starting next Monday, and we are going on an investigative journey into Adobe Illustrator. That's right, we'll be doing a detective theme over the 2 weeks to teach you some tips and tricks in Illustrator. And if you haven't already had enough of me, we have launched a new online class that is free to everyone for you to step up your game, to learn more, and really get involved with the design community. It's called Office Hours, and it happens every every Friday at 2:30 p.m. With myself and Nick Longo. You can go to bit.ly/Adobe Office Hours, all lowercase, and that will get you into our class, show you what is going on in there. You can look at the syllabus, and it will go all the way through the semester, all the way to the end of the semester. Every Friday we'll have a new lesson, homework, and ways for you to get involved. Can we see both screens? Absolutely. So here's my screen alongside Doc's screen. Mine is obviously very rough, and Doc's is probably better. And so Doc is putting on the buttoning up touches, kind of elevating it, if you will, right now. Mine's pretty terrible. Mine's looking pretty rough here. I
This
probably
corgi looks like the fox from Fox and the Hound.
Oh, please leave that. Please definitely leave that. I think that that's super fun. I'm going to add in maybe some brick in the background here. You don't have to do that, Doc. I'm just going to do it so people can see this great feature of Adobe Fresco. That was such a shameless plug. Like, that sounded so bad when I just did it. I thought it was going to be smooth, and then it was not. Look at this great new feature of Adobe Fresco. So I'm actually using the side of my pencil, and if I go just right straight on, it does the kind of sharp line. And if I do it on the side of the pencil, it's actually tracking that and pushing it to exactly how much I want to fill in. So I kind of want to just brush in this space in the background, and it's really easy in Fresco to use the pressure sensitivity, to use the different directions and paint that in. I'm going to do some kind of big brick shapes kind of in the background here. Again, Doc, I know that you're buttoning things up, so you don't have to do this at all. 0%. And Doc, this show goes by very, very fast. How have you felt so far? We've got about literally 3 minutes.
That's insane.
Right? So this show is an absolute nightmare. People always say, they're like, it's going to be so much fun to be on. And I'm like, no, it won't be. 0%. It is fun after the fact. And tomorrow we'll come back and work on another piece. We'll hopefully communicate a little better. We'll hopefully have a little more buttoned up. We'll be able to like get in the flow. It's always interesting when you collaborate with someone for the first time, especially live. You have to learn on the fly both how they communicate and how they work. Cornell says Doc is missing the sun above the animal. Doc, do you have a sun on the cup?
It's
Okay.
on a. It's there. I multiplied it and got rid of it. I'll put it back in there. Thank you, Cornell, for
Got it.
pointing that back out.
Thanks, chat. See, that's why chat's here, to help us, or else we would just literally run in circles until we exploded.
Why is it not drawing?
I exploded. And chat, let me know if you have any ideas for this show. So Design in the Dark is happening every other Monday and Tuesday pretty much for the foreseeable future. And we have a lot of other friends. Last time we had Jordan Iott on doing a Choose Your Own Adventure. And in that show, we all wrote a story and he made the cover for the book of the story that we wrote. So Choose Your Own Adventure is going to be one format that we use. Here is, I like to call this one maybe the product punch, where we've done Design in the Dark, where we create a product. They try to figure it out, and they will kind of do it in the dark as we have been. And then we have one more next week where you'll write a news story, and we will do editorial illustration. So let me know if there's any other ideas that you'd want for this show. It really is a wild card that we can do whatever we want. So let me know what ideas you have that you'd like to see on the show that you think could be fun. And hopefully Andrew Hochradel won't squeal. That's very rare. I squeal all the time. I'm a very squealy person, I think.
Squealy.
A squealy man. All right, how we doing, Doc? We got 1 minute.
Okay. Somehow my my left and right clicks for my brush have totally gotten swapped out.
Love that.
And it's just throwing me for a loop.
That's always fun when things just like start working differently while you're live with like 1,000 people watching. And
yeah, I just turned the sun into this weird spider that's now attacking the corgi. It looks horrendous.
That feels right. That feels right. All right, the time has come, Doc. Are you ready to showcase your design?
Sure. No.
All right. This is gonna be a good conversation. I'm actually excited to do the recap on this one. So chat, you can see above me is mine, the kind of concept and the sketch that we have. Over on the other side is Doc. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna pull it over here so that I can see it. and put it full screen. There we go. Doc, we did pretty good here, Doc. We did pretty good. I was expecting it to be so much worse than that. Like from what I was hearing you say, I was like, "Oh no, I'm so concerned." I'm not that concerned anymore. So Doc, do you want to
Okay.
give any guess to who our client was, what the kind of style was, and what the asset was?
Um,
And it can sorry, can you make
based
that
on,
window full screen for me?
oh yes, sorry. Burp, burp, burp.
There we go.
I was gonna, let's go with, know that the dog came in at the end of this, but I'm gonna say, Pacific Coast Pups slushies.
I love that actually. I love that. And so what I actually want to talk about is I'm gonna read you the brief and then I'm gonna tell you how
Okay.
bad of a job I did art directing you today. That's what I'm realizing
Okay.
right now. I'm gonna read you the brief. And chat, I think you probably can attest to this, and we're gonna have a little conversation about it real quick as well. Here's the brief for today, Doc. A local grocer is looking to step up their marketing. They are a family-owned company who has just had a new generation take over. They want something wild. They are willing to take a chance and push experimental styles with motion and energy everywhere. And today, for them, we were making coffee cups. So, Doc, let's talk
uh,
about this. Let's talk about, and this is what this
uh,
show is about. So, the show is really about visual communication, how to collaborate with people. I'm realizing now that I did a really bad job at directing you where to go today. Can you talk to me about what didn't work and what was like, wait, how did we end up here?
um, I was gonna say, I think we started talking about maybe I put the straw in there, so I immediately took it out of sort of a hot beverage, put it into more of a cold beverage. I couldn't get the poison ivy soil and vine system out of my mind, as opposed to it being more of a um, robust Colombian, uh, you know, product that would just sort of awaken your senses type of a thing, as for it being coffee. So yeah, I was totally in the dirt and the grunge and just soil gardening, composting, and then we threw in the dog. I'm like, okay, we're maybe not composting.
Yes. So I think that what happened is, and I think this happens a lot in the creative process, is you get excited about ideas or concerned about applications, and then it like starts to waver the goal. And so like as at the beginning we got kind of stuck on like what the shape was, I was like, okay, and I was trying to figure that out instead of like directing you to actually like have a feeling and like a vibe and an art style. Because I think where we ended up, like neither of ours really have like a definitive style that fits the brief, right? If we were talking about
Yeah.
wild and experimental, I feel like I missed that completely. Like we talked a little bit at the beginning of like poison ivy kind of thing, and then that just went away. Um,
It's like, yeah, because I can't imagine corgis being as sinister or Harley Quinn, poison ivy, prankster type of pets.
exactly. I think we got. Oh, oh my goodness. I swear, the second I turn on my camera, I start yawning or hiccuping. I think we got carried away, and by we, I mean I, by like new ideas. I think I lost focus of like where we really wanted to go, and then it was exciting, it was new, it was different, and there were so many elements trying to come in. I don't know if we had the conversation at the beginning of like, okay, what's the goal here? Like, where are we heading toward?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
hopefully, uh, well, this is a low res document, so the halftones don't really show up as well as I'd like them to. But hopefully, you learned a little trick about colorizing tiffs or whatnot.
100%. And I think and Camilla did a sketch as well. Camilla, tweet that to us or post it on social media, and just tag Docker I. A mod will drop the links in there to our usernames. I'm just hawk.co. He is I am Redicus. So yeah, if you did a sketch, that would be really, really awesome. Go ahead and post that on social and let us know. And Doc, I agree. So I think that like the art style that we wanted from pretty much the counter is where we wanted to go. And in my brain, that's what I was communicating. And then thinking back, like I didn't actually communicate that very much at all. that like we wanted to incorporate that through the whole thing, because we could have put some of it on the cup. We could have done a gradient. We could have done the soil as that kind of like really kind of earthy feel. And it kind of just turned into a bunch of things. I don't think we ever defined like a why.
No.
Yep. So as the artist,
How much of those are able to be asked though? I didn't want to ask too many questions to
oh, you can ask as
force
many
you into
questions as you
saying
want.
it, other than like, am I designing a puppy slushy
Yes, or I'll just tell you that it's a cup straight up and then have to
cup?
bleach my hair tonight. Um, the punishment's fitting. So this is, and I think that this is like a good actual, like a good episode to show when things like don't go well. I think like as artists, we always want to present like, this is our best thing. And like, wow, look at how buttoned up and like amazing we are. Like we're on the Adobe channel, but like this happens all the
Yeah.
time, right? We do projects that we're just
Hmm.
like, I did a bad job art directing. Like neither of us are super happy with how it turned out, but this is real. This happens, and hopefully you guys can learn from that. How do you feel, Doc, as like the artist and coming down with like this product and being like, cool, it wasn't that I didn't try, it's that like we just couldn't figure out where to go. What's your heart say?
I had named my layers,
I, that's the takeaway
and
from this one is that
I am proud of myself for naming layers under pressure.
yes, we are proud that we have named our layers. Tomorrow, again, we will be back. We'll be working a little bit differently probably tomorrow. Chat, as always, you will get to pick what we make tomorrow. It will be associated to the same client, so that will help a little bit, Doc. You get a little bit of clue that it will be staying with the grocer. I'm believing, chat, that tomorrow we should do option number 1. So let me know what you think about doing option number 1 on our brief screen that's happening right here. And if you agree with that, let me know in chat, but just drop a 1 in chat and let me know if that's what we should do. And so, Doc, tomorrow we will be doing another different thing. So going into tomorrow, Doc, what are things that I can communicate better that we can do that you think to get to a better product?
Um, as I say, making sure that the that we don't necessarily jump off on tangents, that I don't zero in on a happy son and happy corgi and sort of depart from a more gritty uh, tone of the overall piece, the edginess of it.
Yep. And I think that maybe that's where we got distracted is I focused too much on who the client was and not what they were asking for, right? They're asking for wild and experimental. And I was like, oh, they're like an organic grocer. Like we want it to be like fun and earthy and happy. And I'm like, oh no, like they completely asked for something else. And I just have just like completely disregarded that. Yes. So
Word.
tomorrow, let's start out talking much more about style and aesthetic and kind of like the vibe that
Okay.
we want. And then we can start moving on from there. And Cornell, the question was to let me know which of these three, I guess the two remaining options, option 1 or 2, that we want to do tomorrow. So drop that in chat, either a 1 or 2. And we'll check back in tomorrow to make sure that we know exactly what we're doing. But check those out. All right, Doc, I'm going to go over the schedule real quick, and then we'll pop back
Okay.
out for any final thoughts. All right, so the schedule coming
Right
up
on.
right now, you have Design in the Dark with Doc and I, and then nothing's coming up after this. All right, Doc, we're back. Um, I love having the last show of the day because I have to do the schedule, and I'm like, there's nothing. Definitely stick around. I'm sure that a streamer that is streaming on Behance will take over this stream and hang out, so hang out with them. Doc, any closing thoughts for
Well,
today? I know it was a rough one. I felt it as well. What are our closing thoughts with how we feel, how we can do things differently tomorrow? Let me know.
I mean, one of the things that you always have to do is shake it off if you have a bad run-in, or you don't see it eye to eye on either art direction or whatnot. Learn from your mistakes and show up tomorrow, do the best you can again. So
That's it. And that's what we're going to do. We will be back again tomorrow at the same exact time here at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. We will work on communicating a little differently. I will work on focusing on what the client wants and not what I want or what chat wants. I'm sorry, chat. I love you, but I'm going to need to be a little bit better of an art director and gatekeep for our friend Doc Reed. And yes, number 1 is going to be fun. We'll do number 1 tomorrow, which is going to be exciting. And we will see you all tomorrow on the next next episode of Design in the Dark. Bye.
Bye.